might actually get the speed run, but
11:30 at
it's getting late, man. It's getting late for them, but I know that even more than using those seats at the subway, they are trying to get this W first, and Bryan is going head first with the Pokemon trainer, which has brought him so much success this day. Things were looking a little shaky at the beginning when he was facing Nair, but now that he has been getting a lot more experience versus Nair versus he's been warming up, right? So versus Nair versus Joseph, and now versus Javi. Though of course Javi he comes from directly playing at the losers finals, so a little more warmed up. However, I don't doubt if Bryan was warming the hands, and it feels like he definitely was, because right now he is playing very impressive. The water gun gonna put himself in a very good position, and those nairs are gonna be coming out quite often versus recovery such as was.
You gotta remind me, who took Javi outside of the winner's side?
It was Pokector, I believe.
Pokector, okay. Yeah. Does he play Pokemon Trainer as well?
No, he plays K. Rool and Inkling.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, in any case, as you have already stated before, BryanZ is looking like he's got quite the hands before this set, but on the other hand, having experience showcases every single time. We already saw before that Javi's Roy may not have the confidence that a Roy may need at this point, but of course he's still a threat to be taken, and if it doesn't work, at the very least it leads him to get understanding and knowledge on his opponent to take on with the Wolf on the second round.
Wow, I'm surprised by the survivability of Bryan right here. This time going for the spot dodge. He knows, the punish. He could have extended that a little further. However, the percent is so high that, well, there's only so many options that you can go for without actually risking losing your stock. So instead there, Bryan just willing to get a little bit of percent, and now it's all the battle of the neutral once more. Bryan going for it again. No water gun though, and no big punish. Javi, knowing of course his brother Serge plays this character as well, so he perhaps knows the routes of comboing, how to make things a little more difficult, going for the smash DIs and also like the right DIs on the throws for the combos. So if he does get that, plus the reads, which are very useful versus this character. Like once you are in that zone where you can annoy the Pokemon trainer, then it's very hard for them to make it out. And Roy is the epitome of the character that just loves pressing buttons and just keep their advantage. However, look at the way that Bryan is trying to bring it back here.
He's just trying to take a stage control. He's just going by the book. Every single time that he has the chance, he positions himself in the middle of the stage. He just tries to go for the center, right at the bottom of the Pokeball. He doesn't try to contest Javi, but tries to lure him into his playstyle. But on the other hand, Javi's mobility lets him go and let loose of himself. He just can't let loose. Every single time that Javi's just sticking against a corner, he just goes for the short hop jump and rushes him back to the middle of the stage and takes advantage, takes ahead, takes a single interaction that leads him to the destined fate that he's to take the lead on this first game.
I love the spacing there from Javi, not gonna fall prey to the pressure that Ivysaur likes to go with the aerials in the platform. Finally though, committing, and as I was saying, that's exactly why you don't want to commit to that area versus the Ivy, because the downer is coming, the backers are coming, and that is a world of hurt for you. But now Mr. Neutral is back. The Squirrel trying to make it happen, but the percent is rising, and a double-edged dance will for sure delete that stock. However, Bryan gets one more chance. He goes for the rare backer into a second one and goes for the up B. He's almost still, no, he not almost, he does steal the game away. My goodness, I love to see that type of decision. Bryan came for it all today.
I hope that we don't get casters face cam reactions anytime soon, because the face that I just put out on that one, it's just something that's not worth being on camera. Man,
my God, I just love to see the decision. Like, Bryan just has the recognition to know I have to switch out here if I try to steal this game away, and it did. Now the Lucina coming back from sortie to sortie, and Bryan gonna have perhaps an easier time on some things, but quite more difficult on others. But the edge guarding not gonna be one of them, as he just gets that 0 to death on Javi right off the bat. The Squirtle putting in the work.
And he's just taking the work once again. He's just taking the work. He's just taking the bus all the way. His schedule today, and that's already 35%, 42%. It's BryanZ on the lead, and he's just wreaking havoc and damage against Javi's mentality points.
That is so... I mean, it's daunting if you are Javi here, but Bryan still has a lot of room to cover if he wants to make this victory happen. But he seems to be in the right path, of course. Again, this platform just benefiting him, and the up B not again. Javi with the perfect timing on that air dodge to actually survive that situation, as the sweet spot of the bind whip was definitely coming for him. And Bryan staying by the ledge, forcing those downers, and Javi has to be aware at this point that this platform means danger because of Ivysaur's downer, because of those aerials, and just the confidence coming in from Bryan to know that he can force that type of situation just goes to show that he might be ahead in this, and the score shows it, but I think the mentality-wise, he might also be in that pace.
Okay, Bryan just playing so aggressively, but also so smartly.
He's playing incredible.
He's playing incredible. The moment that he took Javi quite early with the Squirtle, I don't know, 30%, 20%, I'm not exactly sure. He just took a step back once Javi I was already recovering. He took a step back, charged the water gun, and expected Javi to just go for, I don't know, a high recovery, past the ledge. You just shoot a water gun and kill him quite early. He's not exactly playing aggressively. He's just playing resourceful, and of course, he's just beating his time.
Oh my God!
Opportunistic at the core, at the very core of his essence, and just I'm admiring every single movement that BryanZ is just showcasing on this match.
I mean, Bryan is keeping the advantage as well as he can, not drifting enough. Like, he had to fast fall a little more to get that up the B. Javi with the downer is one of the moves that he's been using a lot today with the Lucina. We've seen him versus the Falco, now versus the Pokemon Trainer. Very aggressive there from Bryan. He's searching for this option to actually finish. It might have been a downer by the ledge once more, sticking to his guns with the Ivysaur as the grab might be coming, but the switch in, it's time to kill, and that it is again, it's kill o'clock for BryanZ with that back air, and I don't know how he managed to sneak by, but he did, and he got that second win. Javi might be looking down the barrel of a 3-0 with no more chance at recovery after such a big loser's run to be facing versus Bryan, who's been playing on fire today. I mean, things are not getting any easier, but the characters are still changing here.
At this point, I'm not entirely certain if there's any kind of speakers that it lets the players actually hear what we're commentating. Because on the other hand, I feel like he just knew that it's getting late. It's already 11:36. The buses they're stopping their routes, and of course the train is just gonna stop working at some point.
Bryan is a responsible kid.
Bryan's a responsible kid. He's just speed running his way home. He's trying to be over.
He's like, I'm not trying to make it back home past 12. So that means that I have to speedrun Javi in Grand Finals. And
yeah,
he
because
very well might.
Otherwise, his price was gonna go for the Uber way home.
Okay, but Javi, look at this. He is making this out work, and he is doing wonders, it seems. Maybe not with that limit, as it was a little bit of a waste. However, the way that he's been waiting for those aerials on the side of Bryan is proven to be very effective, and of course, we all know, like everybody in the world that loves Smash already knows how good Cloud's aerials on landing can be. If not, I mean, you are to look to Tijuana and pay some more attention, my man. And Javi is trying to take the same page of that book. just using those aerials very correctly and outspacing their range of Pokemon Trainer, and it's been very hard for Bryan to get anything going versus the Cloud.
But on the other hand, what I'm actually analyzing on Javi's playstyle is that he just got two single different coverage. Either he goes for a full hop or a double jump to cover any kind of aerial. He doesn't go for the middle, he doesn't go for a short hop. He goes for any of those, or he just goes for the landing blows back, just trying to either catch the landing of BryanZ or just contest him directly when he's landing with his backer himself. So if Bryan notices this cover, if Bryan notices how Javi is just telegraphing those specific types of throwing those aerials, then he might have a chance to turn the tides on his favor.
He might just do that, but he is going to need a lot more of what you were mentioning in order to do so. Finally, no kill here. Yep. Cloud is not only heavy, but that up throw underwhelming to say the least. But the ledge, the last position that Javi wants to find himself in. However, Bryan not able to get anything going. Javi getting a little disrespectful there by the ledge, not gonna lie. And even getting that stock as he was forcing Bryan's shield into submission. Yeah, finally, though, the down smash from Squirtle and the Pokemon Trainer Classic trying to go for a special in order to activate the fast swapping, but he had a full charge on that water gun, so he ended up wasting it completely, which he might not want versus a character such as Cloud, which one of his very few weaknesses, more glaring perhaps, is that recovery side. But I mean, and he's going to have to rack up a lot of damage before that becomes even a factor. And look at that, Bryan just fighting his way back, trying to make this a 3-0. The possibility is still there if he has his say. However, those out of shield options from Javi time and time again, making the work ever so difficult for Bryan.
And as you were saying, we all know for a fact that Cloud has glaring weaknesses such as recovery, but on the other hand, he has a lot of things that compensate for those weaknesses, like the fact that he can get out of the pressure for free. Every single time that BryanZ is just trying to pressure his shield, he just gets out of for free, even though Bryan just goes for the full space, backwards, orders. There's nothing that he can do to contest the Buster Sword or the Fusion Sword on this specific case.
Yeah, in this case, yeah. And I love the fact that Bryan went, that Javi went for that Blade Beam at that point, because, as Bryan chose not to drift forward, because he could have lived that, right? He could have just jumped or, use one of Charizard's extra jumps, or maybe go for the air dodge, exactly. However, since perhaps he knows that Javi loves scouting out for those, for the jumps specifically, that is one of Javi's favorite options to try and cover. We saw it in Set versus Joseph. I've been seeing it for years now, even on the times of Brawl and Smash 4. And so Bryan just chooses to go for the quote-unquote safe recovery, but there was a Blade Beam to cover that specific juncture. Now, though, Javi finally managing to punch one in the scoreboard, 2-1, and he's going for the second one. But not if Bryan has something to say. He is going to need a big combo to start making things happen, and this might just be it, as Javi is getting a little too trigger happy with those up Bs.
And on the other hand, as you already said, so Javi just going a little bit trigger happy in those up Bs. On the other hand, BryanZ is going for those cross-ups instead. He's just, up B is such a great option to get pressure outside of the shield, of course, but it doesn't cover everything. As long as you cross up and he doesn't read that cross up, you may have a chance to just go for your aerial, land safely, and of course try to contest or challenge the back down to the stage that Javi has to take in order to make it back from that up. On the other hand, he's already taken 136%. He's cornered against the ledge. He has to make a decision. Javi went for the climb hazard, for the living climb hazard, and that did not pay off.
I think Javi was definitely waiting for that swap, however, not getting much out of it. Charizard in prime percent to steal some stuff away, however, Javi not letting any of that happen, as he will put the backer and that first stock Charizard's big body not going to be able to survive. Winning neutral once more, not getting the extension. However, these cross lashes have been working wonders, as one of Pokemon Trainer's main options, specifically Squirtle, is of course coming from the air and try to make something happen. This limit is going to be wasted. Bryan, though, is slightly mistiming his punish, and so he's not going to be able to get the double upper that perhaps he was looking for by that platform, trying to bait Javi out once again. But this shield exchanges have definitely been won by Javi. Oh, finally, but the tech though, both of these guys very aware. I love that Bryan finally using that Razor Leaf into the upper, the gracious confirm from Ivysaur to finish that, but he has a lot of ground to cover here if he wants to make it back.
And on the other hand, that was the first time that I saw that Bryan took the air dodge outside of the stage, outside of the range of Cloud. I feel like Bryan, every single time that he's taken against a corner or just put in a tumble position, he just goes for the roll in, for the air dodge in, trying to, I don't know, outspace Javi by just getting inside his range. And that's not been working out quite well for him. I know that you're giving up space by just going out, but on the other hand, you're ensuring survivability by just getting out of Cloud's effective range.
But outside of that effective range, he is now Bryan trying to go for the overextension. Luckily for him, the most sour off spots onto that back air. And Javi was ready for that. Bryan is not scared of going off station, actually trying to get the counter poke with the back air. So Javi, very aware of that, covers it, and he is working on this game number 5. It's looking like those early, the early finish, to the grand finals might be put on hold, as Javi is doing all in his power to make sure to bring this into a 5th and perhaps final game, at least for this first set. Though the way that he's been playing has been showing, and I mean, Javi getting the parries, getting the punishes, and just winning neutral over and over again, and not even a neutral win, as the advantage was all he needed. The downer, not the spike, but still the KO for him. And this, folks, is game number 5.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and every single folk around, you gotta just take a stretch. If you have any kind of water around you, just take a sip.
It's looking like it.
In a ride.
I told you that I was in for the long ride here.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
We're gonna be in for a long ride.
Bryan made me think that I was gonna go to sleep early, and then Javi was like, "No, brother, there is none of that here." But Bryan very wisely going for the change. Like, he has a Falco, he has the Pokemon Trainer, but he also has a Wolf, which I think that on the earlier parts of Ultimate was the main character that he was using. However, of course, like, everybody has a Wolf, but specifically Javi, which we've been seeing him use here and add the 77's Factory Machine. So perhaps a little more accustomed to that. However, here is Battle of the Adaptation, both for Javi and for Bryan, as Bryan is trying to use this new character, and well, Javi just trying to readjust to the changes that Bryan has made.
Of course, on the other hand, Bryan already at 140%, he's taking quite a toll, he's taking quite a damage, not making a great case for his Wolf against Javi's Cloud. We know for a fact that Javi is the one and opener of Wolf agenda in whole Mexico City, in whole Mexico region, country itself. So it's quite difficult to say how this is gonna work out. We already know that he was one of the best, if not the best Wolf in the region. So what are you gonna show Javi that he hasn't taught you before, you know?
Yeah, like, I can agree with that sentiment, but at the same time, like, he is trying to bring something different into the table, almost that four tilt, making it happen. Javi with those 4 tilts of his own, pressuring the shield. Bryan just taking a second not to be forced into committing into an option that he didn't want to, and he was very risky, I'll admit that, but Javi is still managing to come back from the deep. Over 150 for both of these guys, finally losing that stock is Bryan, but it took quite a while. Like at some point, both of them were well in the red. So this is gonna show just how much both of these guys really are trying for their lives here for this victory, whether it is for Javi, in this case for a reset, or for Bryan to just close it out. I mean, they are just punching each other or kicking each other, I should say, as Bryan gets that dash attack to finish Javi's stock.
And that came in clutch. He only took 20% out of that deficit. He lost the stock early. Earlier than Javi. That's what I'm saying. And he only took 20%. He's already taken the lead. He's already taken the advantage. He's already evened the percentage out and trying to mark the pace from this point onwards against Javi.
Neutral.
Already to 94%. Gonna go for the hardest of reads with a forward smash that actually paid him nothing. But on the other hand, he's already quite making the statement that maybe Wolf is the answer.
Maybe he found the answer that he was looking for, trying to go for those jump reads once more. Javi, the cross slash, but not gonna be able to get anything going as Bryan shuts the door closed with that up smash. Looking pristine to get this. However, if Javi gets a couple of correct reads, if he manages to rack up the right percent, we could see the last stock situation, which is what I'm willing to bet people in the chat want to see. Javi fighting for his life here. The ledge trap so strong for Cloud, and even that puny grab that Cloud has is gonna work wonders for him, though he needs to close this stock out. Is Javi gonna be able to do it?
Okay, Javi marks that backer, takes Wolf outside the stage once again. It's a ledge trap situation, just trying to land the backer. Put a lot of pressure on BryanZ's side, but somehow manages to survive. Either that was just a late hit, or it just stalled enough for not to kill. But on the other hand, he's already thinking, that was amazing. BryanZ recognition. He just knew that the Blade Beam was gonna come after his tail, and he just prepared for that with the reflector. But on the other hand, Javi was already prepared with his shield. It's a 32% lead that BryanZ has against Javi, but that doesn't last quite long as we need to.
I mean, the lead wasn't looking as dominant as perhaps in some other parts of the set, but Bryan has been winning neutral over and over for the last part of this last stock here. This is where it could be the stock of champions, right? Bryan trying to get it all. This first 77 factor machine, which, I mean, we are going to be seeing a lot more of from the Smash Factor team here with locals in Mexico City, and you will see some of your favorite players as well. But here is the first one, and it matters most as this is the grand final. Oh, Javi with the commitment, but also Bryan with the beautiful punish and the fair into the backer. No reset for tonight. The 77's Factor machine has sparked, and now Bryan is on the command. He gets that first place. The switch works out for him, and I'm not talking about the Pokemon Switch. I'm talking about the entire switching characters. The Wolf, the good old reliable main for him, and he will be our champion for today. But Javi put in a valiant effort, I have to admit. It was what he was forcing with the Cloud. It was looking like a miracle on the making, but no dice just for today. And even though I'm willing to bet that people were perhaps rooting for Javi, as they do know his name a little bit more worldwide. Yeah, also, yeah, for sure. But Bryan, I mean, another one of those players that perhaps not so well known outside of Mexico City, and now, at least for the international scene, and now making a few more strides. He has in the past. He has traveled to Canada, for example, to try and get some W's, getting some names at, I believe it was Get On My Level. So yeah, like Bryan, not a new name, but one that perhaps some folks might be discovering for the first time. Yes, exactly.
And we hope
that is Mexico City for you.
Yeah, it has a lot of hidden bosses. It just has a lot of players that should be recognized a lot more, such as Cloudy, for example, that We knew him,
My man.
all the way from Smash 4. We knew what he was capable of. We knew what he was up for, and it took him just a couple of invitations to finally be taken as seriously as a threat that he should be taken from the first time that he put his name outside the world. So that's
Yeah.
exactly why these tournaments are held. So these players, of course, are here to entertain you and to be recognized by your likes. So we have BryanZ as the winner of this tournament.
Yes.
Congratulations to BryanZ. He
Congrats,
actually
congrats.
shut down all non-believers of his wall,
he
including
did.
myself, of course. I'm gonna take the L. I'm willing to take the L. I was a non-believer, and he actually managed to make it his own.
Brian was playing on fire today, taking Nair down, taking Javi down, taking Joe Joseph down. Like all the names that we perhaps were expecting in the top 3 and maybe even further. I mean, of course, huge upsets that we saw today. So, I mean, if you want to see more Mexican Smash, then 77's Factor Machine definitely has you covered. Shout outs to Smash Factor, of course. I invite you to come back next week. The VODs are going to be there. So if you are trying to see some of what Mexico City is made of, then for sure check those bots out. Check out the Twitch as well. Of course, it's Smash Factor Gaming. And as the live events are going to be down. Anything else that you want to add before we leave Fear? Of course, follow my man Fear at FearSarah_ on Twitter.
On every single social media at Roy_ORS as well on Twitter, and Roy_MX on Twitch. We are also streamers on our free time. And I mean, if you don't come here for commentary, come here for the tournament, come here for players. We're gonna be here every single Thursday from now on, and you're all invited to be our company here. So thanks a lot to everyone for watching this tournament. We thank you all, and we hope that we had the chance to entertain you. We hope to give you out a good night today.
I mean, the 77's Factor Machine is powering down for today, but we'll be back. Stay tuned for the next time. Peace out.